year is bringing new changes and challenges to EBT users. As we step into 2025, we have a lot to discuss, like new SNAP discounts, proposed restrictions, and a big mistake I made in a recent video. Let's dive into everything you need to know about EBT in January. But before we go any further, I do need to address something important. In a recent video, I made a mistake about SNAP benefits that I want to correct. Transparency is very important to me, and I believe it's my responsibility to set the record straight right away. So here's what happened. I originally told you that the continuing resolution passed by Congress would extend the SNAP benefit replacement program. Unfortunately, that information was not correct. It was true that a previous version of the bill included provisions for SNAP replacement benefits, but that provision was removed in the final version. I didn't catch that in time. I'm truly sorry for passing along the wrong information to you. The reality is that the authorization for replacement benefits expired on December 20th, and it was not extended. According to the Georgia Budget and Policy Institute, quote, while the CR allows the government to continue to run, this version of the legislation does not include an extension of SNAP replacement benefits for victims of SNAP theft, end quote. Here's what this means for you. If your benefits were stolen on or before December 20th, you may still be able to have them replaced in some states, but you need to file your claim very quickly. If your benefits were stolen on or after December 21st, they can't be replaced under the current rules. It's important to note that how this is handled varies by state. It's also important to know that how this is handled may vary by state. Now, I deeply regret the misrepresentation in our recent video. Things change very quickly, especially with bills like this that are voted on at the last minute, but I know that that's no excuse. As soon as I discovered the error, I edited the mistake out of the prior video and I posted a pinned comment with the correction. But I want you to know that I'm committed to doing better and ensuring that mistakes like this don't happen again on this channel. I truly appreciate your understanding and your continued trust. Now that we've cleared that up, it's important that you do everything in your power to protect your benefits from theft. If they are stolen now, there's nothing you can do to get them back. So it's more important than ever to prevent them from being taken in the first place. I know we've talked about this a lot in the past, so I'm just going to go over a few tips very quickly, and then we'll move on to the other EBT news that I have for you today. So change your PIN at least once a month. Do not use sequential numbers or sets of numbers. Make it hard to guess. Do not share your PIN or card number with anyone. Use security features like the Connect EBT or EBT Edge app to lock your card between uses. Disable out-of-state or online transactions unless you are traveling or currently shopping online. Always check your payment terminal for a skimming device before you swipe your card. Do not swipe your card anywhere where pieces seem loose, broken, or misaligned. Keep your benefits safe. Now, to help prevent fraud, some states are starting to roll out EBT cards with chip technology. Chip technology helps prevent those cards from being able to be skimmed. California is expected to roll out their new chipped cards in January. Alabama and Oklahoma are expected to issue chipped cards sometime around summertime of this coming year. Now, meanwhile, lawmakers in Congress have sent a letter to the USDA urging them to take immediate action to protect low-income families from these thefts. The letter specifically urged the USDA to issue cards that were protected by industry-standard payment security defenses. That sure sounds like chips to me, so hopefully those new cards will be available in all states soon. Now, before we dive into our state-specific EBT updates, I want to share some exciting news about how Amazon has expanded their EBT system. Amazon now accepts EBT cash benefits in certain states. This means that you may be able to use your EBT cash to pay for most products and services on Amazon, including shipping fees and items sold by third-party sellers. However, there are a few exceptions. EBT cash cannot be used to purchase digital items, subscriptions, Prime memberships, jewelry, or any items typically prohibited by EBT rules. Now, here's the catch. While SNAP food benefits are accepted on Amazon in every state, EBT cash benefits are only accepted in the following states: Alaska, Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Kentucky, Missouri, New Hampshire, New Mexico, New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Oregon, Rhode Island, Tennessee, Vermont, Washington, Washington, D.C., and West Virginia. Now, if your state is not on that list yet, don't worry. Amazon will hopefully expand this option in the future. And don't forget, regardless of where you live, you can get 50% off Amazon Prime memberships if you receive benefits through EBT, Medicaid, WIC, or other government programs. This discount gives you access to free shipping, exclusive deals, and more. To sign up, just use the affiliate link below or click the big yellow button at lirlinks.com to get started. We've also found new EBT discounts in a few areas. The following museums have joined Museums for All. The Computer History Museum in Mountain View, California. They have free admission for EBT cardholders now. The Computer Museum at System Source in Hunt Valley, Maryland allows EBT cardholders to visit for just $3 per person, which is an 80% discount. The National Electronics Museum in Hunt Valley, Maryland is on the list, but it's not clear what their discount is. The Samuel Dorsky Museum of Art in New Paltz, New York operates on a donation basis. Art Life Studio in Freeland, Pennsylvania offers an EBT discount on their art classes, exhibitions, workshops, and more. The Contemporary Austin Jones Center and Laguna Gloria in Austin, Texas offers free admission if you have an EBT card. Now, I realize that free admission to a museum is a small consolation when so many of you are worried about what's going to happen with your SNAP benefits in the new year. There's been a lot of rumor, speculation, and fear about what may happen when the new administration takes over in January. Now, because of some of the comments that we've received lately, I want to take a moment to remind you that I have always done my best to keep low-income relief fact-based and nonpartisan. As I get older, I find myself less and less interested in the drama and the fear-mongering of politics. I'm honestly tired of it. I don't want to be fearful. I don't want to promote fear. I crave peace and calm and stability, and I know you do too. And I realize that this is not how most of our media handles things, but I'm hoping that low-income relief can provide calm, reliable, and accurate information that helps you navigate tough topics with confidence. That's the focus I hope to reflect in our videos this year and always. Now, with that being said, many of you have probably heard that President Trump plans to put Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy in charge of a new organization called the Department for Government Efficiency. Newsweek recently ran an article titled "SNAP Benefits Could Come Under Scrutiny as Vivek Ramaswamy Sounds Alarm," and it seemed to incite some panic or at least some worry online. So I just want to remind everyone that this new organization doesn't really have any authority. They can make recommendations and guidance, but that's about it. It's going to be your elected lawmakers in Congress who control funding and make decisions about programs like SNAP. And as I've shared in previous videos, other presidents have created councils like this before that make recommendations and serve an advisory function, but none of those recommendations usually come to pass, or if any do, it's very few. So please, I know it's hard, but try not to worry too much. The effects of that stress are very real, and I don't want that to be a burden that you have to carry. And on that note, let's talk about what's going on in Arkansas right now. Governor Sanders has written a letter to the USDA pushing for new restrictions on what SNAP benefits can be used to buy. Specifically, she's targeting junk food like soda, unhealthy snacks, candy, and desserts, claiming that those items make up nearly 23% of all SNAP purchases and contribute to obesity, diabetes, and other chronic conditions. Governor Sanders has also stated that she plans to request a waiver to implement those restrictions in Arkansas. Now, while states can ask for waivers to change how SNAP is administered in their state, no state has ever successfully received a waiver to restrict what can be purchased with SNAP benefits. When I spoke to the USDA about this a few years ago, they explained that the Food and Nutrition Act of 2008 and federal regulations define what items are eligible for SNAP. States can't just independently restrict purchases without a demonstration waiver, and to date, no such waiver has ever been approved. That's partially because there's a practical challenge here. SNAP is a federal program, so people can use their SNAP benefits across state lines. That means that any state that wants to enforce restrictions would have to figure out how to handle cross-border shopping by residents of their state and neighboring states. It's a logistical nightmare that makes these proposals more symbolic than practical. In short, while these types of requests may score politicians a few political points for trying, they're very unlikely to move forward. And I think that the politicians proposing them probably know that it just wouldn't work in practice. So it's not something that I think you should worry about until or unless the USDA chooses to address that. Now let's turn our attention to a few more state-level updates, starting with Hawaii. The Food and Nutrition Service is proposing changes to how SNAP benefit amounts are calculated for Hawaii. Right now, those rates are based solely on data from Honolulu, but the FNS wants to expand their calculations to reflect the actual cost of food across the entire state. This would provide a more accurate and fair assessment of food costs for residents in different areas of Hawaii. The FNS is currently seeking public comments on this proposal, and the deadline to submit feedback is February 3rd. If you'd like to share your thoughts, you can do so on the federal e-rulemaking portal at regulations.gov, by emailing fns.foodplans@usda.gov, or by sending a letter through the mail. Now let's talk about West Virginia. State Senator Roberts is continuing his push for a more comprehensive SNAP education and training program in the new year. This year he introduced Senate Bill 562, which passed the state Senate but didn't make it through the House. He's planning to try again with a similar bill this coming year. The goal of the proposal is to require all able-bodied adults without dependents who receive SNAP to participate in employment training programs unless they're working or qualifying for an exemption. While employment training programs can offer valuable resources, I do take issue with Senator Roberts' reasoning here. In an article in West Virginia Watch, Senator Roberts claimed that these SNAP recipients are to blame for the state's drug and child abuse problems, but his proposal specifically targets people without children, which makes that reasoning feel irrelevant and inflammatory. It's also worth noting that many people who fall into this category are waiting for disability determinations that can take years to work themselves out, which means that this kind of change could end up doing more harm than good for vulnerable people. Now, if you live in West Virginia, this is something to keep an eye on as we head into the new year. And honestly, it's a good idea for everyone to be aware of this, as we've seen a massive push toward these kinds of programs in recent years, and I'm sure we're going to see more proposals like this pop up again as we move into a new legislative session. Now, don't forget to go to lirlinks.com to claim your Amazon discount, and then check out our other videos for more ways to save money and get free stuff. I'll see you there.